The 2018 Australian Open is turning out to some degree to be a tournament of upsets. More so than in any tournament I can think of in the recent past. We have seen upset after upset after upset. Stan Wawrinka out, Del Potro out, Djokovic out, Dimitrov out, and now the big one, Nadal, bowed out to the fantastic Marin Cilic, who will now be predicted to get into the final. Listen, there have been some major upsets, and that is true to a very significant degree, but how far will it extend? Can there be another upset? My name is Aaron Knapp. Welcome to Tennis Talk Daily, where you will find the essential tennis commentary that you need to understand what's happening in the major tournaments. Subscribe to the channel for this essential tennis commentary on a daily basis every day through, of course, the Australian Open, but also beyond. So listen, how far can this tournament of upsets go? Well, here's the thing. There's only one more upset that can be done, that can be executed and accomplished. There's only one man standing who can be upset, and his name is Roger Federer. And in a period of hours, I think about 8 hours, he will be going out onto the court to play Tomas Berdych in the quarterfinal, and that is going to be a match we're all watching very closely. But yes, Federer is the only person left in this tournament who can be upset. Listen, I think that the Cilic Edmund match, I mean, if Edmund takes out Cilic, that could be an upset. But the big one that people are worried about, and this is what I want to talk about today, the big one that people are worried about is the Federer upset, the potential Federer upset. So there's two kind of dual thinking. It's kind of a paradox. On the one hand, there is a sort of wide acknowledgement of the fact that Federer is the favorite. Yes, folks. Roger Federer is the favorite to win the Australian Open, without a question. He is the favorite to win. And it's, you know, the supercomputers that Matt over at Coffee Break Tennis produced that result. Every smart person that looks at this issue, this kind of prediction issue, will predict Roger Federer to be the winner. But there are so many predictions going on, and here's the thing about the Federer fans. We love him so much on the one hand, but there's also this doubting. I mentioned this last night, and there's a lot of people doubting. Well, I got into an interesting discussion with a subscriber named FedEx, and he was talking about you know, having some doubts about Federer, and he doesn't think Federer is going to get in. He asked me whether our channel is about, you know, objective commentary or sort of rooting for our favorite tennis player. And I told him, you know, it is objective, and I try to be fact-based here, really, and evidence-based. And I think that's very, very important. So, but the question is, you know, is this doubting, is that evidence-based? Is the idea that, okay, Federer's going to be upset, the tournament of upsets, you know, he's got to fall prey to it. Is that idea evidence-based? Is the notion that Federer is going to get upset in this tournament evidence-based? Well, I think it's not evidence-based, and I think that one way to understand this is to stop talking about predictions and think more in terms of putting your money where your mouth is. Now, if we talk about the players that we would bet on, literally reach into our pockets and pull out, say, $200. Now, coming into this, say, Federer-Berdych match, and Federer has a very strong record against Berdych. You can go check that out. I think they've met many times, and Federer is clearly ahead. It's been a long time since Berdych has outdone Federer. But think about it in this way. If you're worried about the Berdych match, would you place, you know, 200 of your hard-earned dollars on the table in favor of Berdych in this Federer-Berdych match? And I think the answer has to be no. Let's stop talking about predictions. Everybody's making predictions. What would you bet on? What would you put your hard-earned money on? And I think that's a different answer. We're going to get different answers from people, even the ones that are making these strange predictions that like Marin Cilic or Chung will win the Australian Open. Or think about the potential Federer versus Chung semifinal, assuming Chung gets past Sandgren, which is going to start here very soon in a couple of hours. What about a Federer-Chung? I mean, who would you put your money on in that match? If you had to reach into your pocket for $200 of your hard-earned money, who are you going to bet on in that match? And I don't think the answer is Chung, folks, even if you're speculating that Roger Federer could be upset. And then finally, in the final, which could very well be a Federer-Cilic, and, you know, a Cilic win in that event would be, I think, would be categorized as an upset. I mean, there's a history here. Cilic and Federer met at Wimbledon in 2017. Cilic didn't play his best and, in fact, broke down in that match. So he wants to redeem himself here. But in that match, I mean, who would you put the money on in a Federer-Cilic? Well, Federer and Cilic have played, I believe, 9 times, and Federer has won 8 of those matches. Cilic has gotten the better of Federer only once. I believe it was 2014 U.S. Open in the quarterfinal, as I recall, and that was a straight set victory. But every other time, Roger has a 90% essentially winning record against Marin Cilic. So who would you put your money on? Predictions? I don't care about predictions. Who would you put your money on in that match? I think I've made my point. Roger Federer is the favorite. Strange things happen. Black swans happen. That's absolutely correct. But if you're going to put your money on someone, the rational people that are actually betting on this are putting their money on Roger Federer. In fact, instead of doubting, the Federer fans actually need to be rejoicing. Don't jinx it. Still take it seriously. Know that Roger has to work to get through this. But things look quite good. I mean, this is a Christmas present, guys. Nadal out, and Cilic is like the last. Cilic is really the only serious roadblock that Federer has to get through at this point. I mean, if we look at the precedent, I mean, it's an unpredictable game to some degree, but it's only Cilic really at this point. I mean, who could have predicted that? Well, all of the upsets, ladies and gentlemen, favor Roger Federer lifting his 20th trophy, and all of the data and evidence disfavor the idea that this reign of upsets could actually extend to Federer. The upsets are over. That's my message to you. The upsets ended on day 9, and that's my prediction. There will be no upsets anymore in this tournament, save for it's possible. We'll have to see if Edmund can get the better of Cilic. That's a possibility. I wouldn't categorize that as a sort of earth-shaking upset, but it would be somewhat of an upset. But other than that, there are no more upsets. Subscribe to the channel. Rejoice and celebrate in a way if you're a Roger Federer fan, because his path is clear and the stars have aligned. So he needs our positive thoughts, not our doubting. We're not partial to any tennis player. We're partial to the best tennis players, and it just so happens that he is the best. But if it turns out that someone else gets the better of him, well, he's still the GOAT and all. But you know, these other people are worthy of our attention too. We're not irrational in our love for Federer here at Tennis Talk Daily. So subscribe, give it a thumbs up. We will talk soon. Bye.